Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Blessed Girl Summer Podcast. Listen, it's your girl Tisha, and I'm super excited about today's guest. Y'all know that this is the space where we come to learn to live, love, and grow. And so it is always a blessing when I get to have my girl Cameo Bobo in the studio on the podcast. She is the acclaimed host of Nashville's #1 late night TV show, The Cameo Bobo Show. She is also a goal coach, a mentor that empowers women entrepreneurs, and she is, well, not and, but in addition, she's a best selling author and she's a top chart selling music artist.
Yeah.
Welcome, Cameo. Welcome.
I love you. I'm so excited to be here and be part of this blessed girl summer, baby. Okay.
Listen. I started to wear my like fluffy brown type shirt today. And I should have just went ahead with my feelings, with my first inclination, because I know you always show up.
You looking good, girl. You looking good. Okay. You always beautiful to me. I love to see your face.
Thank you, girl. Thank you. So I love for you. I know I did just a little, I told a little bit about some of the stuff that you do, but I would absolutely love for you to share with my audience more about yourself.
Hey everyone, yes, my name is Cameo Bobo. That is my real name. You guys can find me on all social media platforms under that name. But excited to be here and excited to be a part of this Blessed Girl Summer series. I'm all about empowering women to become the best version of themselves. I haven't always been on this journey of putting myself first and putting my goals first and taking myself seriously. So it has been a journey to get here. So Tisha's always offering great resources for us to become and be who God has created us to be. And so God has basically created me to be multifaceted and multi-passionate. As Tish mentioned, I do a lot of different things. I'm Nashville's #1 late night TV show host. And I also have the hottest late night TV show in the nation, period.
Oh,
Ain't nobody hotter than the Cameo Bobo. So just watch and see. I bring the fire. Okay, but we are offering motivating interviews, celebrity appearances, trivia games, business segments, and so much more. You can find us on YouTube under Cameo Bobo. If you are listening from the local Nashville area, tune in to Channel 19 because your girl is on the television show. On the television. Okay. Hopefully coming soon, a big production deal so we can take things to new levels. So be in thought and mind about that. Also, I'm a goal coach. I help female entrepreneurs set big goals and get results every 90 days with a formula I created called the Best Life Formula. With that formula, I've created a book, and we also have the Best Life Base membership. All of the information is on cameobobo.com. Also, if you're interested in any of my merchandise, I have t-shirts that say God got me popping. I have t-shirts that say Jesus loves me and I twerk. I also just released a cosmetics line, and we have lip glosses for sale. You can find out all of that on my Shop with Cameo website. And lastly, I am a music artist. Yes, your girl raps. Okay, baby, I'm not playing. Okay. So yeah, go check me out on all music stores. Just type in Cameo Bobo. You'll hear my new song Crown. I'm really excited about that. It is a crown on your head. Look in that mirror and know that it's a crown on your head, and go forth and get everything that God got for you. But don't forget to do your self-care along the way. And that's what we're gonna be talking about today.
yes. Listen, I feel like it's such, as you were talking, I'm like, you are definitely the definition of living fully, living your life fully, and doing and exercising or implementing all of the gifts that God has given you, and taking action and being that go-getter that so many people either desire to be or are actually functioning in their lives. And so as you were saying all of the things, I'm like, this is going to be a really great conversation because there's so much output I feel like you're doing, right? There's so much output given in this space, given in that space. It takes a lot to show up in all of these different, well, first, one category. It takes a lot to show up in one category. And so to be able to show up in all these spaces, I know that you're outputting so much. And so I'm glad that we're going to be having this conversation on what's actually being put in and how you are providing soul care for yourself. Before we dive into what you're doing, I'd love for you to share. I mean, with all these things, there has to be, well, let me ask you, With
Okay.
all these things, have you ever experienced a moment of burnout or a moment of overwhelm? Like, what has that looked like for you?
It is so funny when you send me the request and then you send me the questions. I was reading the questions, and I was like, I don't know that self care is my best area. I don't know that I do so well in that. But I literally had to take a mental health day on Wednesday evening, and I
Mm.
said, well, now I got something to talk about because I took this mental health day. And so, repeat your question. What was your question to me?
So, with all the things that you're doing, have you ever experienced moments of like high anxiety or stress or feelings of burnout or maybe like a feeling of overwhelm? And like what has that looked like for you?
Yeah, so I would say Wednesday was I don't necessarily, how can I describe what I feel? So as you mentioned, I put out a lot. I put out a lot of energy into the world. And I have a high capacity for what I can handle also through all the grace of God. None of Cameo. It's just how he's made me to be. But I realize if I don't take time for myself, if I don't take time to realize everything that I have going on, all of the energy that I've put out there. I've been putting out a lot of energy since April 1st. Just the things that God has given me to do. And in my personal life, there has been a lot of changes and a lot of things I didn't know that were going to occur. And so Wednesday afternoon, I just text my mom. I said, "Hey, I'm getting so ready to take some me time. I'm cutting my phone off. I'm fine. Please do not call me or try to get in touch with me unless it's urgently important. Call my brother and my son if you need me." And I cut my phone off. I left it at home. Tish, I didn't even take it with me.
Oh,
I got
mhm.
in the car. It was pouring down raining. I'm like, why is it pouring down raining? But it didn't stop me. Pouring down raining. I put on this radio station. It's called 102.1. They play like old school music and new school music together. So it's like a balance. So I cut that on. I rode around. I went to Rainbow. It's one of my little cheap shopping stores. I went in,
Yes.
I bought a shirt, a cute shirt. I bought a journal for me to journal in. I need a new journal. Then I went around to, I think I got Popeyes. I ate in the car. And I just spent time riding around thinking about what Cameo wanted to think about. And it was also a time where God was like, Cameo, you have all of these different things going on. You need to check yourself as how you feel about them. A lot of times as
Ooh.
I'm living and making sure everybody else is okay and being everybody else's point of contact for consistency and balance and firmness and standing. I also realize that a lot of things are happening that I need to realize and take into consideration how they're affecting me and how I feel. And so during that 4 hours, it was just like I got to talk to God about so many different things and so many ways I was feeling. It was really a therapy session for me with Jesus in that car in that rain. So that's what I would say. Like I get to the point where it's just like I know I cannot give anything else. And if I give, it will be out of self. It won't be out of abundance of God. It won't be out of love and his place. It will be out of duty. And so I try to remember, when I'm getting there, when I'm like, I'm getting ready to be mean for no reason. It's because I'm worn out. So I took that time and it really just helped me. I feel better today, and that was Wednesday. So
Mhm, mhm.
that's what I would say to answer your question.
So I'm listening to you and I love that because I love that you say you have a lot of capacity for a lot of things. And I think that sometimes when we have capacity for a lot of stuff is because sometimes we put our needs and our stuff on the back end so that we can fulfill all those things like in front of us, right? All those external things. And so I know you started touching on it, but I like to like dive into it a little bit more. You said that you texted your mom. You was like, "Look, I'm not answering my phone. If y'all need something, reach out to Kyrie." So I'm wondering, what was it, or we could talk a little bit more about what it was that you experienced that made you be like, "I need to take a break. I
Mm-hmm.
need to take a pause." Like, what was happening? You mentioned a little bit, like, I guess feeling irritable and like getting mean, but like, what was it for you that was like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah, let's see. So kind of like when you have a lot of things going on, sometimes you get to like a climax waiting for a date to happen. And so Wednesday was a date happened. Something happened Wednesday. And when I got back home, I just was sitting in my room watching television, cleaning up, and I was like, I want to clean up my room. And then I started thinking other thoughts, and I thought, I think I need some me time. I could just take, I
Mhm.
wanted to stay in my room, Tish. I really wanted to lock my door, act like I wasn't even in there. I could
Yeah.
feel me wanting to run away. I guess maybe that's how you would say it. And I was like, actually, on that day, I had already cleared my schedule and wrote, "Do not schedule anything." So even though this thing happened that day, my schedule was already clear. So I was like, take advantage, take advantage, take advantage, take advantage. So I finished cleaning up my room. And before Kyrie got home from work, I was out that door. Okay. I was gone. I was gone. And I told him he had already called me about dinner. That's another thing. He called me about dinner and I said, you could do whatever you want to do. I don't have anything for you, Kyrie. And I could tell the way I was saying it that I was over it. I just don't I
Yeah.
could just tell. And so those are the signs that I kind of knew. Like I said, just getting ready to be mean for no reason, getting ready to, lock myself in the room where no one can talk to me. You know what I mean? And in the past, I would have done that. But I realize now it's nobody's fault how I'm feeling. I need to take time away. So I don't want to be rude or being offensive with anyone because I'm just not having I'm just not where I need to be, mentally. I'm just not where I need to be. And once I get where I need to be, I can explain to everyone what was going on with me. But I would
Right.
go away, get myself together, and come back and explain rather than having to do a whole lot of apologies and my explanation, right?
Right, right. I love that. So what I hear you saying is like, I like you said, I felt like I was getting to the place where I wanted to run away. And I feel like that sounds like you were exhausted. Because even when he called you and it was like something else, like even though it was a regular question, it was like something else I'm going to have to figure out. And yeah, and so I think it's so important because I know a lot of us are like you. Like we just keep going and we just keep going. And sometimes I love that you did not ignore like how you were feeling. You did not ignore the signs. Like I recognize that I have reached my capacity. And right. And so I need to, and that reaching my capacity typically might show up as me locking the door and throwing away the key, but that might not help me neither, really, right? Like, so, like, then you were like, so what do I need? Like, what do I need right now? Like, what am I in need of that I'm not paying attention to? And so I just wanted to give you a hand clap
Thank you.
for taking
It was
that
really
time.
I like being there for people. And so if I take myself away, then that means I can't be there for them. And then I feel some type of way. But I tell myself, Cameo, no, you need it. You can't be there for them like this. You can't. So yeah.
Well, I love that. So when you were saying that when you did take the time, it just you had time to talk to God. It like kind of would you say that it kind of like cleared the noise for you?
Oh, it did. It did. It did. It did. Life has been, and it gave me time to realize everything that I had on my plate. I didn't realize everything I had on my plate. I started saying the things out loud and I started saying those are big things, Cameo. Those are all life-changing moments. Those are all things that could be a minute before they be resolved, and your I realized also God showed me. He told me this a long time ago that I was kind of like the glue that kept our family together. And so if you look at just my immediate family, there's my mother and father, there's me. Then there's my brother, my other brother, and Kyrie. So I'm kind of in the middle of it in some ways. And he had told me I'm the person that keeps the family together, the glue that keeps the family together. But then he started showing me visually how I was that middle thing. And if
Mm.
anybody needs anything, I am their person. and God has placed me there on purpose, and it is him, but he was just reminding me that there's no way I can serve as that pillar without staying deeply connected to him and in all that he has for me to want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just talking to me, about you're that person. So you have to really, take your time and spend time with me, because I that's the only way you're gonna get the energy that you need to even just serve in that capacity alone. So yeah.
Yeah. It's like you need to be refilled. I think I was just on a live just a few minutes ago
Yeah.
talking about like refueling and how like sometimes I was using a car analogy. Sometimes like if we're driving our car and we see that the gas light comes on, and
Yeah.
sometimes we'd be like, all right, like I'm just gonna push it to make it here. I'm just
Right.
going, like, how many miles do I have left? And we're constantly like, it puts us in this heightened state of like, how far do I gotta go? What's happening to the vehicle? Am I gonna make it? Like you're just on alert, as opposed to if you took the time to fill up the gas tank, then there's certain things that you don't have to worry about because the car is already full, right? And so, um, it just sounds like the Lord is like, you have all these things that's requiring you to give out, but you have to be filled or full in order to really operate from the overflow. Like I'm just so convinced that he really wants us to operate from the overflow. And the only way we can get to that space is if we're full,
Yeah,
right? And then we're giving out of our fullness. And
I agree.
so,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's good, and that's definitely the message that he was relaying to me. And I'll say this for anyone that is evolving and, changing into a higher level of themselves. As you evolve and change, the things that once filled you up may not fill you up to the same capacity anymore. So I'm at a place where I'm finding what it is. Where is my feeling? It's not at my church as it used to be. It's not in the places that I used to be. And so that's been another thing, like, okay, God, where is that? Because my schedule is different, everything's different. And
Yeah.
finding the new, I feel like I'm just uh, so many wonderful things are going on, and then so many things I don't know are happening at the same time. And I'm just praying my way for God to show me balance in my new life. This is what I pray for. This is what I confess for, and we're here, and I know it's still moving. And I'm like, okay, help me with that. Help me find my refilling. I found a lot of refilling in praise and worship recently. And that's really been an awesome thing that God has reminded me of. Remember, use your power of praise and worship more, use that more. So yeah. But yeah, that I just wanted to add that in there.
No, I think that is so good. And it's important that you said that what used to fill me before, it's not doing the same thing. There is something more or something new that I need. And I think it's so important that if we're not being quiet and still enough to discern that, then we're not getting what we need. And we might be going back to the old things, and the old things aren't doing what we need in this new space.
Yeah, that's so
I
true.
love that. That is so good. So what are some of your new things?
Listen, y'all didn't know y'all was coming to a
I
day.
know neither.
Yeah. So some of the new things I've been doing with my son, I've been going to church with him. And that has been a new experience, following him to his church. He goes to a different type of church than I go to. And but I have found it filling,
Mhm.
I have found that feeling. Getting back to journaling, getting back to reading my Bible, getting back to studying the word, I have found feeling, like I we take those seasons for granted when you are just got the time to, journal, and you reading and you doing it, so I'm at a different place, and I'm like, okay, I still gotta do it. And it's so fulfilling, but I'm more tired than I used to be. It's later in the night than it used to be, so that's the thing. Um I found some more communities to be involved in line, And so it's some new spaces. Like one of the things I'm believing God for is to be a wife. And so I found a community called Righteous Wives that I've joined, and getting to hear them talk about marriage and different things like that, it fills me up in a different way. So I'm actively searching and realizing the direction that God wants me to go. I don't have the full answer yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny because I'm your answer girl, baby. I'm your answer girl. When I read these questions, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a different interview, but I'm for it. I'm here for it.
No, I love it. So it speaks to so many good things. It speaks to like your exploration, your willingness to be open to explore what these new things are. And I think that this is so perfect. God is so on time because the tip that I share, like, so this is a practical tip that I try to offer in every episode. It's all about finding your happiness, right? Because, and I think that sometimes we don't appreciate or we don't recognize how things change for us, right? Like what was bringing us joy in this season may not be the same thing that is bringing us joy and fulfillment in a different season. And so with this tip, one of the ways, or I'm just going to give a few different kind of ways that people can explore what their happiness is or what joy looks like for them in this particular season. So one of the things that you can do is you can begin a collage, like collage a vision of your perfect day. What does a perfect day look like for me now? Right? What are some things that would make this day perfect? And then you begin to find different pictures about what would look what would reflect a perfect day for you, right? Another one is collaging things that bring you joy. When you notice, I look at this thing and I find fulfillment here, or this thing makes me smile. Like a new thing for me that I used to not do is I'll go on YouTube and I'll watch, I think it's called house tours or home tours.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, it's just people.
Man.
And they don't even have to be their house, but like how they're decorating it. And they'll just be like walking through the house. Well, I picked this picture because X, Y, and Z, and I picked this color. And all of a sudden, like it's just stuff like I'm not like a nap person. Like it's hard for me to take a nap during the day. But when I watch this thing, I get relaxed to the point where I
Mhm.
can actually rest. And
Wow.
so it's like a new thing. And then, of course, I'm finding out new stuff like, oh, they got TV covers. Like they got things that cover your TV and it look like a frame, a picture frame.
That's a good thing. That's you finding out
Yeah.
information too, knowledge.
Yeah. So now I'm just like, I'm just watching and I'm also finding things that bring excitement and joy to other people. Things that maybe I haven't explored before or I didn't even really know, like you said, was in existence. And so
Mhm.
now it's doing something for me. Oh, maybe I want to incorporate X, Y, and
That's
Z in
good.
my space, right?
Mhm.
So the second thing is that you can collage your joy, like different things that you're finding that bring you joy or bring you happiness. And then the other suggestion is taking photos of things that you think are beautiful. I
Oh,
will often sit, like, I'll be driving, especially like here in North Carolina, these sunsets be like
oh,
miraculous to me. They
wow.
be all kinds of beautiful colors. I'll be
Mhm.
seeing purples up in there, all kinds of stuff. And so I'll take pictures of things that catch my eye that I think are beautiful. And then
Mhm.
y'all know Canva and all these different things. You can take those pictures and form a collage, and it just can begin to be a starting point
Mhm.
of reminding yourself what brings me joy and what makes me happy in this new season.
That's it.
And I really love going back to that initial idea of what does my perfect day look like?
Mhm.
So how can I incorporate some of these things that bring me joy into my day on a daily basis? That's what we talk about on this podcast all the time. Incorporating peace and joy in your daily living and how you do that and what that is for you. So just wanted to share that tip.
Oh, I think that's amazing. I love all of it. And I love especially the one about looking for something that I see is beautiful, because I see so many different things within the day, and being able to remember to take pictures of those things or remember those moments. That's another thing I've been really focused on. It's really like living in the moment. Um, because like I said, there's so many changes happening I really value my time here with you, even though this is business and we're recording. I get to spend this moment with you. I don't get to spend moments like this with you anymore. There was a time when I was spending moments with you like this almost every day for a whole year.
Mhm.
And now I barely get to spend moments with you. So it changes. And so I've been really trying to enjoy the moments because these are the things that make me happy. Seeing you, being with you, talking to you, you know, experience this with you, doing something that we both like together and friendship. Like all of that is what I'm all about. I love that kind of stuff. So this is a beautiful moment for me. And yeah, I'm just trying to think about that too.
Well, we got to get back to calls in our conversation. I remember those seasons
Mhm.
and things, and to your point of like how things shift and change. And like, I think, has it been 4 years, 3 or 4 years ago? It was such, like the community that we met in was
Mhm.
such like an intimate community
Yeah.
where we could kind of, draw encouragement and what we needed in that season. And as that community has grown and evolved, it's still great. Like it still
Yeah.
provides, and it's great that it provides for so many people,
Mhm.
right? But
Mhm.
then now it becomes, all right, understanding the shift and
Mhm.
how do I regain that level of intimacy and community, maybe in a different way and in different spaces. And then I think not just spending time reflecting on that, but now what is the intentional action, that I'm going to take to set it up so that this is something that can reoccur that I need. And so I think when we are so busy
Mhm.
doing all this stuff, then it's hard to find the moments and the time to like set that up so that
Yeah,
that can be a reality for
I
us.
agree. Yeah, I agree.
But we gonna do it because we sitting up here getting convicted.
Here it is. It's gonna happen.
Listening to these things. So as we are wrapping up, I'd love to hear. So I know that, and I want to say too, I want to just honor and like respect the fact that it can be challenging. Like I'll speak for myself as someone who has a lot of abilities to do
Mhm.
things and can find themselves doing a lot of stuff. It can be super challenging to be able to sit back and identify what I actually need and what actually brings me joy. And so I don't want, like I want to acknowledge that even taking the time to do that can feel like in the beginning like a struggle, right?
Yeah.
To make that happen. So I'm going to ask you another question that you might like struggle with a little bit. That's why I wanted to preface it.
Yeah. That's a great plan.
What would the perfect soul retreat or oasis look like for you? And I
Um,
want to give you some time. If you got to close your eyes and just like really meditate with it for a minute and think on it, I want to give you that space and that time to do that. Um,
yeah,
while you answer the
I
question.
know, I know what I want. I would love to be able to go. It could be Florida. It doesn't matter. Somewhere on the beach, a beachside home that opened up when I woke up in the morning. All I saw was the beach. I had the doors that came up or whatever it was, and I could literally leave there and walk the beach, put my feet in the sand, put my feet in the water, just be there for the sunrise, be there for the sunset, lay out, and just sleep would be really good. That would be the beginning of some soul care for me. The ocean does something for me. I can't explain it. I'm hoping that I'll be able to go. I haven't been in 4 years. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to go in July. But I think that would really do something for my soul. It would really just put me where I need to be. Waking up in the morning, being able. I love to have devotional time on the beach, finding a church on the beach. One year we went to the beach and there was a beach church and they just set chairs out and they worshiped the Lord and it was a whole church and I went. It was like 6:30 in the morning. I woke up. We were on vacation. I said, I'm going to this church. I got to see. And that was the best thing. So having that opportunity to do that again with a group would be really cool for me. Um, But yeah, I think that would be so care. Probably even if I could get my hair done while I sit on the beach, that
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love for you. What does that, where does that take you? Like, where does that take you mentally? Like, to be
it
able to be out there, that wind blowing, smelling like what you smell. Describe a little bit like what that does for you.
it brings me so much joy and so much peace. It gives me relief. It makes me feel like everything. It reminds me that everything is okay. It gives me a place of Cameo. I'm just Cameo out here. It's just Cameo. I don't have to be anything or help anyone. It's just me. And it's I feel like I don't know, that water and that sand is just something that the ocean feeds me, that I feel like I may need more often than I actually give myself. I believe that I've been denying myself by not making that a priority to get there because of such joy it brings me. I have prayers in my phones of me taping the water and I'm just walking in the water praying. So I know it's something there that really releases me and recharges me like nothing else. I can't say that anything else does me like that. So I got to get back down there. Hopefully, Kyrie and I will be taking a trip to Miami and we'll find that beach and I'll be able to do that. So, yeah.
Girl, I love that for you. So what I would love for you to do is, as you're like, you know, planning to make that happen in reality, I'd love for you to name that space for you. Like, think of a name for that space. And as you find yourself going on with the busyness of life, taking moments to go to that space in
Mm,
your head.
my goodness, it makes me feel good. This is a therapy session, y'all. She
Oh,
checked me.
like I love it for me.
Holy Spirit. I knew Kim has been do this podcast to get herself together.
No, I love it. I felt like the way that you describe that space, and just like the way that like your all your like mannerisms and your body changes when you think about that. Like, I want that for you on a consistent basis. And so
Mm,
although you can't have it tangibly maybe all of the time, but
yeah,
girl, I feel that coming, you
yeah.
know, in your planning and your goaling of like where you want to be, your destination, naming that place and allowing that place, allowing yourself to go to that place, you know,
Mm,
in your head and creating time for it.
yeah, I will. Thank you. That's a great tip.
You're welcome. All right, y'all. So, as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this podcast with somebody else that you know is in need of this information. And I'd love for Cameo to leave any last words or to share with everyone how they can stay connected with you and make sure they could be making sure that you're doing these things.
Yeah, now y'all need to be posting on this. Hey, when is your vacation? When is
Yes.
your trip? Did you name your place?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. But yes, you can find me on all social media at Cameo Bobo. Everywhere it's just Cameo Bobo. First name Cameo, last name Bobo. But on Instagram, I'm a princess, so you have to find me at princess_cameo. If you're interested in anything that I do, go to cameobobo.com. You'll find TV shows, shopping, goal setting, everything, music, everything that I do. I would love for you guys to reach out and let me know you saw the podcast and supporting Tish. That's my girl. So stay tuned to whatever she's doing because she is always evolving. And it is important for you to have those kind of people in your life because they're not going to be stagnant. Even if they feel like they're stagnant, they're not. They're always evolving. They're always moving to the next thing. And she is a beautiful, genuine person. So she's awesome to support. But I will close with this. Self-care is the best care. I know that's kind of uh you know how they say the little
Or cliche.
okay, but it is. And if you want to have anything in life, if you want to do anything in life, you got to put yourself first and you got to get your self-care going. When I had that day on Wednesday and I was spending time with the Lord and taking my time for myself, he reminded me of in the Bible when Jesus was preaching to all those people. And then after he preached to them, he went away and they didn't know where he was. He went away. And so remember that if Jesus had to go away, we definitely have to go away. We definitely have to get time with the Father. We definitely have to let him download stuff to us and fill us, because he has big callings on our lives, y'all. He wants us to do big, 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 big things. We are queens in this universe. And I think that we sometimes forget that our queendom and our kingdom will take a whole lot of us. And we don't have what the world needs, but God does. And if we tap into him, we can release it all, in abundance, and do it the way he wants us to do, and not have to have like the sad times and the depressing times. And I couldn't take it any more times. Drawing near to him, I believe, will keep us out of those kind of stories. We don't have to tell those stories. We can just say, I just stay close to God, and he, strengthened me like the eagles. He made me run when I was faint. He made me walk when I was tired. He did those things to me. So yeah, I live for that.
I love it. I love it. And guys, as always, remember that the best gift we can give ourselves is to be intentional about securing our peace. We have the ability to make any season of life a blessed girl season, literally and metaphorically, right? So we could be in the winter, we could be in the spring. It can still be a blessed girl summer because it is all about our mindset. So until next time, be well and remain in peace.